Hi everybody, I'm Maria and today I have a special recipe. It's gnocchis with creamy tomato sauce. It's a recipe that is really friendly because it's pasta and children will love it, and also the preparation is really fun. So please come join us and enjoy gnocchis and creamy tomato sauce. For the ingredients you will need 1 cup of flour. You will need 1 egg that will be beaten. You will need pepper, salt, and the main ingredients: 4 boiled potatoes. For the sauce, you will need 2 cloves of garlic, Italian seasoning, a quarter length red lentils. You will need 14 ounces of tomatoes and a little bit of water, salt, and some herbs for garnish and put it on the top of your sauce. So let's get ready and make our gnocchis. All right, so the first things that we need to do is take your boiled potatoes that are already done. Usually takes like around 15-20 minutes. I will always check by inserting a knife and check if it's soft. So it's kind of the similar consistency that would you like to have if you're making smashed potatoes. What I'm doing is peeling with my own fingers, and this is really fun for children because they practice their pincer and their fine motor skill. You can try to do it with sweet potatoes or pumpkin, any other ingredients that can be boiled, smashed. So when we have our potatoes already peeled, you will start smashing them. And again, this is really fun for children. You can do it with a smasher or with a simple fork, like this, right? Smash it really well because you don't want those little big chunks for your gnocchi, because then will be make it hard to combine with the flour and the egg. So really smash it around. The softer the potato, the better. So when you have smashed all the potatoes, you will make a little hole in the middle. We call it a dual or a volcano for our children. So you make a hole in the middle where the eggs will fall, okay? So let's crack the egg. And again, children love to do this. Crack it. And then you beat it a little bit. So it's all combined. And you put it in the middle. If you don't feel comfortable because it's sticky, you can use your own fork again and mix it. Or if you feel like fun and messy, you can use your hands like I will do. Again, that helps you to combine really well and avoid any kind of crumbs. You're coming along, let's see, the consistency is coming very nice together. So you add your salt, teaspoon, and you add your pepper, another teaspoon, and combine again. The last element that you need is your flour. So 1 cup, you will use it and sprinkling around your recipe. Again, you combine it here. So if you feel like it's getting sticky in your finger, that's where your quarter of cup is working. So you add a little bit more in between your fingers and you save it. And you feel like, okay, the bowl is not very comfortable right now. So that's where we're going to surface. Reason, we have to sprinkle a little bit on your surface. And again, you save it, and you pour your mix in here. Like you make when you're making bread, or you're making another baking element. And now we have more space for use our arms, our shoulders. Sometimes the potatoes are more sticky, sometimes it depends on the way they absorb the egg. So I feel like it's still a bit sticky in my hand, so I'm gonna still using some of the half of your cup. I don't feel any lumps, I don't feel any texture that can be tricky at the moment of we boil our gnocchis. This is a big, long snake. Feel like it's sticky to your surface and you want to slide it faster or comfortable, you put a little more flour. All right, so you have your nice roping here. So now, children, you will take your plastic knife and cut little pieces. And I would say like 2 inches or so. And you cut it and cut it. And one thing I like to do is let the children cut them. Take a little bath with the flour and place it in a surface. So they can definitely see, oh, I cut that one. You can sing songs like roly-poly, like we do when we're playing with Play-Doh. Or we can talk about we're making a snake or a rope. And then they love doing simple cuts. So I'm gonna show you another interesting and fun things that you can do with your children, which is giving a nice shape to your gnocchis. So for once, it's 2 kinds that I know that you can make the shape of your gnocchi. So you place it in your hand, and that's more for young children, and you press with your little finger and you make a little hole. That's one way to do it, right? Look at a little hat. So you say to children, okay, take your gnocchi and make the hole. The other way to do it, and it's more for older children, and if you want to try it, you take your fork, you place it on the top of the fork, and you slide it. And you give it like a little lines in there. And this is more the commercial ones I use. So you place it again, and they fall. So since our water is boiling and it has a little bit of salt, I would say a teaspoon, we replaced our gnocchis, which is really fun to do. Like children can put one by one, so you don't have to rush the process. It's just placing them so they don't stick each other. So it's very important that the water is boiling because the process of cooking is really fast. So they don't stuck each other and they don't stick each other. You don't have to stir, you don't have to nothing, so just cover a little bit. Wow, look at that. They're popping. You see? They're on the surface, so I just need to catch them and separate them. It's different than pasta. Pasta has a time and then you take the water. All right, gnocchis are ready. Now we're doing the creamy tomato sauce. It's a very friendly recipe for children because it has the tomatoes, but we will try to make it friendly in the matter that we will avoid any texture and any chunks. So for that reason, we will use a blender at the end of the recipe. So for the beginning, we will use 2 cloves of garlic. What we'll do is crush it, and again you can use children's knife so they involve, and then you peel it with your finger, and then you line them and start to chopping really fine so you don't see it in your sauce. And you will have 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. So I'm gonna get it ready so they go together and they will perfume the oil. Use quickly a spoon. Now we incorporate the tomatoes. That sounds make you know that the oil is ready and it's really hot. So when you add the water, just be careful. It will splash a little bit, especially if the children are around. And again, don't worry if the tomatoes are whole. You will use a little bit of blender at the end, so we eliminate the texture in your sauce. So now we use the water that we put in our can, taking a little bit of remaining of tomatoes. The rest of the tomatoes you can put it in a separate container and storage, and then use it for another sauce. This is for 2 portions or servings. We add the salt. And we wait until it boils before we put the red lentils. Boiling, it will depend of the boil of the tomatoes and the level of liquid. So I will give you like 10-15 minutes, or until start bubbling. When it start bubbling, you add the lentils. All right. Since our sauce is boiling, we are going to add a 1/4 cup of red lentils. So that will cook nicely and creamy. So you reduce the temperature to medium to low and let it rest until the lentils are ready. All right, so our creamy tomato sauce is done, and you will see it because the lentils are already creamy and everywhere, but again, it's a lot of texture, so when it's a little bit cooler, you will transfer to a blender, or what I'm gonna do, a hand blender. I'm gonna transfer in a pot, preferably cold, so the temperature is not too high and it won't splash you, and it's safe for your children. And again, if you have a blender, the children will press the buttons and see how the consistency change or your sauce. But if you feel confident and the children will eat and recognize the ingredients, it's totally fine to serve in this way. Now it's completely the same, the texture, you can recognize the ingredients. So what you will do is spoon a little bit and dress it all on your gnocchi. And something I love to do, sometimes people prefer cheese, but I prefer herbs, and you can use basil, parsley, oregano, and then use parsley all on your gnocchis. Or you can just serve it like that. And this is your homemade gnocchi. I hope you enjoy it, and I really want to see those pictures of children rolling gnocchis and making it by their own. So see you next time. Bye.